And this is Moses Amschelbauer, the father of Mayim Shelbauer, who changed his name to Mayim Shel Rothschild. And thus you have the Rothschild clan. So the Rothschild clan, they know exactly who the real Israelites are. And then they know that they're Esau. They know that they're Edom. All right? There's an article on the internet, Marion Knox, interview between Marion Knox and I forgot the other person's name. And in that interview, I think it was Marion Knox who revealed that the Rothschilds know that they're of the house of Esau, the house of Edom. So if they know they're Edomites, they got to know who the real Israelites are by default, you know. Isaiah 26:13, O Lord, our power, other lords beside thee have had dominion over us. The one Lord that's the so-called Lord that's having dominion over us now is Caesar Borgia. All right, that white man Jesus.
Which Nate is pushing.
Which he's pushing.
Because anytime you say that word, the C word, which I don't even like to say,
yeah,
when somebody that's newly coming to this thing and they see it, they think of the white boy.
Yeah.
That's why you got to say Yahushai, whom the world calls Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
then you can say, well, what do you mean by that? There's two Jesus Christ? Right. Then you can show them in Corinthians. There are two Jesus, man. Matter of fact, get that and hold that on deck.
Which Nate is violating. The scripture we're about to read, the total violation. I'll just finish up Isaiah 26:13. It says, other lords beside thee have had dominion over us, but by thee only will we make mention of thy name. So by the power of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushua, we make mention of his name. We glorify his name. We propagate his name. Or the names. All right? You got it.
Those names are very important. That's why these guys are so hell bent, you know, on not teaching it, you know. And then they actually try to get scriptures to try to say that, you know, you don't have to call on those names, you know. They totally bugged out. But this is our 2 Corinthians 11:4. It says, for if he that cometh preaches another Jesus whom you have not preached, or if you receive another spirit which you have not received, or another gospel which you have not accepted, you might well bear with him. Jumping down to verse 13. Excuse me. It says, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of the Messiah. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers shall also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. You know, so their works are showing that they're not men of the Lord. Scripture say you shall know them by their fruits. You know, so if they're not teaching those names, if they're not pushing those names out to the people, yeah, of course the people out there don't speak Hebrew. Predominantly Jake here speaks English. You know, but we didn't know those names until the teachers that were before us taught us.
Yeah, well, the prophecy says to seek ye the old paths. The book of Jeremiah 6:16. Part of seeking the old path is going back to the language we spoke back in the olden days.
Yeah, this is 1 Corinthians 9:13. Do ye not know that they which minister about holy things, which that is us, we're ministering about holy things. When we teach these shows and we go out on the highways and the byways and, you know, we brothers, do the live shows, do the Passover, remind people when the Passover is coming up on the right date, okay? Pursuant to Exodus 12 and Leviticus 23, it says the first month of the year, the 14th day at evening, not 15 days, 16 days, 17 day, not I'm going to do it on a Saturday. I know it's going to fall on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night, but I'm going to do it on a Saturday because it's more convenient. No, that's not keeping the laws, man. It says 1 Corinthians 9:13, do ye not know that they which minister about holy things live of the things of the temple? You know what that means? The priests, they didn't build houses. They weren't construction men or carpenters or auto mechanics or singers or dancers or rappers, okay? They didn't tell jokes. They did the ministry of the Most High for the people. And how did they get paid? By the people. And it was 10%. And that's another thing that Nate goes off on about the tithe thing. Now, back then, when the disciples were together, they didn't have no tight system because there was a seat, Moses' seat, there was a rulership over them. Because even Yahweh Shai said, give them, he knew them guys were wicked, but he said, give them the tights anyway. Because they're in the ruler's seat, man. So who's in the ruler's seat now? We're in the ruler's seat now. The house of David is being built right now. You don't go to no Baptist minister for him to officiate the Passover. You got to come to the men. So we are at the highest seat. The kingdom being built again. So tights are a part of the kingdom. But you say keep the laws. But don't, come on, man. That's why the Most High gonna smoke you, fool. And your congregation. Do ye not know that they which minister about holy things live of the things of the temple, and they which wait at the altar are partakers with the altar? Mm-hmm. Now when they had the treasury, the altar, and everything, what did Titus do after he took down Israel? And they put it on the arch of Titus, man. They showed him taking all the riches out of the temple, man, out of the treasury. Because they knew that they had money, man. The Israelites had money. When you go back to the time of the Maccabees, they had what was the guy? It wasn't Antiochus IV. It was his father before him. Right. But he had that guy, I forget his name. No. The guy that got his ass whipped. No. Heliodorus. Heliodorus, he was set up, I believe it was Antiochus Epiphanes' father, to go and steal from the temple. And two angels came down and beat the shit out of him on horses. And beat the shit out this guy, beat him to an inch of his life. Because he was trying to go to the temple because he knew that they had a lot of riches, real riches in the temple, man. So it says, 13. It says, do ye not know that they which minister about holy things live of the things of the temple? In other words, the Levitical priests, they got their money from the temple. The people that gave the tithes, they lived off of that, man. Okay? It says, and they which wait at the altar are partakers with the altar. What's with the altar? You had a treasury, man. So the Levite priests, they were living well. They were living in suburbs, man. And they got the best of everything. When you had a bullock, you gave the Levite the shoulder. Okay? It says, and this is the Apostle Paul cursing out the church of Corinth, right? 14th verse. Even so have Yahweh ordained that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel. But I have used none of these things. Now, why did he say that? Because there were people helping him, but when he went among the Corinthians, they were like, why are you asking for money? So he cursed them out, man. Right. So he said, look, I don't want your goddamn money. That's what he said to the church of Corinth. And then later, in another scripture, he said that if you can get it, you can bring it out. Macedon had helped me. And then also go to Romans 16:1. And I think her name was Phoebe, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not, you'll find out. But it said she was a succorer, meaning she had businesses and she helped Paul. In other words, she gave Paul money. But I have used none of these things, he's talking about Corinth, neither have I written these things that it should be so done unto me, for it were better for me to die than that any man should make my glory void. For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me. Yeah, woe is me if I preach not the gospel. Okay? It says, for if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. Now, you know what that's willingly, that means you're doing it because you want to do it. It's out of the heart. We love doing this thing, man. We love doing this. That's why you see me putting up nothing but shows, man. Putting up shows in the middle of the week. Every week. We don't miss no week when it comes to the studio shows or out there speaking in the street. So we're coming in the same spirit as the Apostle Paul. So he said, 17 verse, for if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me. In other words, you got guys that do it, but they go through the motions. Right. They ain't real about this thing. Right. It says 18, what is my reward then? Verily that when I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Yahushua without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel. So basically he said, look, you at the Church of Corinthians, you don't got to give no goddamn money. You got that scripture, Ak?
This is 2 Corinthians 11:6. But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, but we have been truly made manifest among you in all things. Have I committed an offense in abasing myself, that you might be exalted? Because I have preached to you the gospel of the Most High freely. I robbed other churches, taking wages of them to do you service. And when I was present with you and wanted, I was chargeable to no man. For that which was lacking to me, the brethren which came from Macedonia supplied. And in all things I have kept myself from being burdensome unto you, and so will I keep myself.
Yeah, so did people help him? Yeah. But he said, you people, look, I'm going to teach you. You don't got to give me nothing. Right. That's what he said, because they had an attitude, man. Basically, yeah. They had an attitude. And like Apostle Gabar always says, he's been saying this for years, he said the hardest church that Paul had to deal with was them niggas up there in Corinth, man. Okay. And I'm going to call them niggas.
I got a couple of examples for you. The first is Phoebe, which you heard Apostle Elatar mention. That is it. Okay, Romans 16:1, it says, Romans 16:1, it says, I commend unto you Phoebe, our sister, which is, so you have women out there that, that are going to be chosen, man, chosen to be saved.
And that's what women are supposed to do.
Yeah.
If they got a business, they supposed to, they're supposed to do something, man.
Help
I'm
ministry.
A sister. I know I'm in the truth. You have it in my dog.
Right. And
all them hoes back there at One West, all them hoes are back in the world.
Right. You may forget, but I will. I commend unto you Phoebe, our sister, which is a servant of the church, which is at Cenchrea, or Chenria. Cenchrea, yeah. It says that ye receive her in the Lord as becometh saints. So she was a helper of that church. And that ye assist her in whatsoever business she have need of you. For she have been a succorer, which means a helper when you look it up.
Go click on it.
Okay. Look up the word succorer. And the Greek word there is, let's play the Greek.
4368. Prostatis.
And it says, a woman set over others, a female guardian, protectress, patroness, caring for the affairs of others and aiding them with her resources. I mean, that says it all right there. Right. She had the resources and she used it for the good, all right? She helped the saints. So the Apostle Paul mentioned her, all right? Going back to Scripture, it says, and that ye assist her in whatsoever business she have need of you, for she have been a succor of many, and of myself also. So this woman, Phoebe, helped the Apostle Paul with her own resources, meaning her own money. Unlike the Church of Corinth, she didn't have no problem giving the Apostle Paul money, all right? Now, the next example is Onesiphorus. Let's see if I have it here. Onesiphorus. All right, this is 2 Timothy, the first chapter, the 16th verse. The Lord give mercy unto the house of Onesiphorus, for he oft refreshed me, meaning he helped the Apostle Paul out, and was not ashamed of my chain, meaning his burden. So he could have helped him with a place to stay. He could have helped him with money. He could have helped him with giving him food. All right, so there were certain men set up and women along the way to take care of the Apostle Paul. That's the point. So I don't know if you have a precept,
No, I'm looking for some
Apostle
right now.
Elder Ramlab.
No, I'm looking for some right now. I don't have it.
Okay. Well, there you go. So you had in the book of Romans 16:1, you had Phoebe as an example. And then in the book of 2 Timothy 1:16, you had the house of Onesiphorus as another example. And they helped the Apostle Paul in the ministry. So you had plenty of examples of individuals that weren't ashamed to help any way they could. You know, and some of them helped with their resources, meaning their money, their lodging. You know, you had certain individuals set up to help the servants of the Lord with lodging.
Widows.
You know, we had widows, right? That even widows that helped.
Yep.
All right. So, in other words, the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, is going to take care of his servants. He's going to take care of his men. And he has individuals out there that are going to take care of his men monetarily. All right.
Say this here. I want to read this comment. This is from the video I put up called the Passover in Colossians 2:16, right? Let me pause it. And this is some nigga put this up, this comment. His name is Jimmy James, and it says, Yippee Yahui Elder Tahar says the Passover is Passa cash over. Real talk, Passa your cash over in GMS Passover. Now, what I did was I clicked on his name, and just as I suspected, Jimmy James, it says this channel doesn't have any content. Okay? Typical. Yep. Now, first of all, this, if you notice, this year's Passover, we're going to have many Passovers, and there hasn't been no money collected for the Passovers because each group that has their Passover, they're going to have to put together their money to get the lamb or whatever. Mm-hmm. When us and the apostles and the elders have their Passover, whatever money we got, we're going to put our money together to get the lamb and all that, and we're just going to have it. So what in the hell are you talking about, man?
Yeah, what do you, yeah.
We're there's no advertisement of us renting a big place and saying you got to pay $200 to go to the Passover.
Yeah.
So what the hell are you do? You should watch us more before you start talking shit.
Yeah.
It says you only have the Passover in Jerusalem when Yahweh, not y'all, idiot shy, bring his one remnant back to the east. Now, first of all, you dumb idiot, where was the first Passover held? The first Passover wasn't held in Jerusalem. They wasn't in Jerusalem. It took another 40 years to get to Jerusalem. So where was the first Passover held? It was held on the other side, in Egypt. Why do you think they took the blood of the lamb and put it on the doorpost? Because the Most High sent the death angel to kill the firstborn of everybody that did not keep the Passover. You dummy. And number two, so you're saying we woke up to this truth. I woke up 31 years ago. Other men before me have woken up 50 years ago. So we woke up to the truth. We found the Passover. So we got to all get together every year, poor as we are, and go over to Jerusalem and keep it among them damn devils. Let's say you think a million of us is gonna go to Jerusalem and them devils gonna let us in there, man? You're nothing but a scoffer, man. Okay? And the Most High guaranteed is gonna destroy you.